Hi, this is Not a Very Good Hunting Channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at two of my ground blinds. I want to do kind of a comparison because they're basically based on the same idea. The two blinds I'm going to be looking at are the Primos surroundview 360 with that see-through wall technology that they came out with a little while ago. But I'm going to compare that one, which is the original kind of innovator of that type of blind, and I'm going to be comparing it to the quote-unquote knockoff of Tidewe. They make a version of it which is substantially cheaper, and by cheaper I mean less expensive. I actually haven't pulled that one out yet, so this will be new for me as well. So I'll be interested to see what the difference is and what you get for, like $500 and some cheaper to go with the Tidewe compared to the surround view from Primos. So we'll get out there and take a look at them and see how it goes. Stay tuned. Okay, we're out here. I'm going to set up both of these things. I don't know if I'm going to show the setup because, this isn't a tutorial on how to set up ground blinds. But it's just a comparison between these two particular blinds. Mostly it's to see how the Tidewe version of their see-through wall panels, how it compares to the original, which is the Primos double bull surround view. This giant one back here is the 360, so that's the biggest one they make. I'll put up the measurements. I don't know them off by hand. Same thing with the Tidewe. But first things first, out of comparison, weight and packability. So I'll back up. This is the surround view. It weighs quite a bit more than this, but the Tidewe one has an actual usable carrying bag. Now, looking at the bag, it looks pretty flimsy, but I mean, this blind was like $109 on sale on Amazon, so not expecting too much. It's not all that heavy compared to the Primos double bull. Take that off. This is not the bag that comes with it. This is a different bag by Beard Buster for carrying ground blinds. It's designed specifically for ground blinds, and I got it after my original bag ripped. So now this was a while ago. I don't know how long ago I got this. I want to say 5 years at least. I've had this blind. Pretty sure. Anyways, but the blind bag that it came with at the time did not really fit very well. So putting it back in, it tore the opening, the seam at the opening of the bag tore. So Primos was great at getting me another one, and they said that they had been having issues with the bag. They sent me the same version, so I only tried it one more time, and it was very, very tight again. They were looking at upgrading their bag. I don't know if they've since done that as of this video, so I don't know. But this Beard Buster bag for ground blinds is awesome. It really, really helps carrying big, heavy blinds like this. So I'm looking forward to comparing the two of them. Again, this was very expensive. I want to say it was in the neighborhood of $700-800 at the time. But I've used it. It's great. It works amazing. It's huge. It fits 2 people, easily 3. The camouflage is awesome. The view that you get from inside out is great. Now I'm sure with both of them, like this, is better on sunny days. Overcast, you don't get as nice of a view outside of it, but still, it is amazing technology. So yeah, so I'll get these 2 set up, and then I'll take a look at them. And I mean, I already know what this one is, but I'll show that one for you guys. And then I'm very curious to see what the Tidewe version is like, because it was only like $109, and I got it just to replace my old blind that I had been hunting out of, because I leave that one out to get, you know, animals accustomed to it. So I don't know if I'm going to do the same for this one, the Tidewe, but it was one of those things where if I'm leaving it out for an extended period of time, usually in the winter, and I'm not worried about, I don't want to have to worry about damaging an expensive blind. So this one I take out for day hunts, mostly turkey. But if that one fills the bill, then, you know, this might be surplus to my needs, and maybe either sell it or keep it for when, you know, that one's damaged or something like that, and I need a good one for turkey season. I'll just keep using this one. But yeah, so first things first is the Primos is large, cumbersome, and is heavier. I don't know how much heavier, just by picking it up now compared to the other one. It definitely is heavier, but it's not like twice as heavy anyways. So okay, I'll get these set up, and we'll take a look at them. That went easier, but I think it was because I already figured out how to do that one, so I'm not going to really say one way or the other which one's easier to do, but they're pretty much the same way to assemble them. So I'll flip around and I'll go with you. All right, so straight off, the Movable 360 is larger, or at least taller anyways. I don't think this one's in a hole or anything like that, but it seems significantly taller. But here's the camo. See, Tidewe went with, like, you know, kind of like a real tree type extra style, trees and leaves and stuff like that, whereas the Primos is more of a layered camo, digital print type stuff, more to break up the silhouette, I guess. So I'll take you into the Primos and take a look around. For this one, you have a movable blackout wall curtain. So let's take a look at the door. Same kind of style, triangular door. Tidewe has the same kind of thing. So we'll get in here. And don't forget to trip. So, I'm not a big fan of these triangle doors because the way in is very, very, very narrow. You got to lift up your feet. Of course, I'm not really used to it. So, that is what you see from the from the inside. I'm just looking at the trees. I'm not worried about the blackout panels or anything like that, but so that's just a port. But you can see the difference of what you see from the window and what you see outside. Again, it's focusing on the mesh. There we go. So this is through the mesh. Again, through the mesh. My tripod. Slide the window down. Let's see the difference between down here and up there. It's still very, very clear. Now it's a nice sunny day, so this is really making a difference. You can see it's all just perforated levels, but sunny days are the best. When it's like dawn and dusk, it's not as great, it's not as pronounced of how well you can see through this, but it's still very good for seeing movement. Again, normally I'd have the blackout panel over here or over here, one of the back walls there next to the door, and that way so what's neat is, so that's all see-through, and then you just lower the camera and you don't want to see me, so here I am. Hi. You don't see in. I'm waving my hand right now. There, you can kind of see the dark spot. See the hand moving through? But I'm right up against it, so if I move back here, you don't see it as much. I also don't have the blackout panel there, so when that's all black, you don't really see because there's no silhouette. But again, it's pretty amazing stuff. I'm not going to set up the blackout panel. This isn't really a review about the double bowl. I mean, there's things I like about it, things I don't. I'm not a really big fan of this type of window. I've never been a fan of this style. You can slide it up and cinch it down. I'm more of a fan of that. The gun ports or bow or whatever you're shooting. And it just has a little snap here that you elastic closed. Let's see how I could do it one end. Okay, do it one end. So, I mean, it's black. It's black, but because inside is black anyways with the blackout curtain, you don't make a difference. Then when you get to your stand, your blind, you can just open it up. But, most blinds, you're looking out there, you can't see what's over here, unless you open up every single other port in it, or you have this thing open the entire way. But it's nice that you can see left and right out of there. Okay, so now we'll go over to the Tidewe. And be careful out of the door. Okay, so I don't think this is see-through. That's not the see-through. So that would be probably the built-in Blackout wall. So it looks like it's so that's the see-through mesh. Okay, so 3 sides is see-through mesh, and then it has the built-in Blackout wall, which is perfectly fine. I mean, you can put the wall wherever you want on whatever side on this, depending on where you want to set up. So like me, I don't really like that big giant horizontal window, so I sometimes set up with the wall on that side. So let's get into the Tidewe, and we'll see what the difference is between the two of them for clarity of panels. Okay, so Tidewe zipper is the zipper's pretty noisy, but it's not the end of the world. Let me check this one. This one's it's noisy too. I mean, if you want to be careful, you can. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that with 2 hands. Anyways, it's a little less noisier. Okay, let's see how this is. It's definitely not as clear. My eyes are actually, it's not just the camera, my eyes are having trouble focusing out of it, if that makes sense. So you can see here, but just my eye, it's actually pretty weird. I guess because the holes are a little bit more spaced out. It's not as fine of a mesh. I mean, it doesn't look half bad there, but when you physically look out of it, no, it's not the sunglasses. When you physically look out of this, it's pretty distracting. I think it's because, here, I'll flip it around. This mesh, there's so much black in between the holes. Like it doesn't have nearly enough holes, and I think that's what's screwing up my eyes. You can kind of see out of it. Like this camera is doing a better job picking it up than my actual eyes, because I don't know what the camera is focusing on, but my eye automatically wants to focus on the screen and not what's in behind the screen. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. So it has some sliders, which is, I really like that. I really like sliding windows to open up. But again, this is very deceiving. Like it looks like, oh, you can, almost see just as well as the Primos, but with your eye there, see, that looks amazing. That looks really good. But when you're actually sitting here looking out, it does not look that good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. It's very, very distracting. Your eye really wants, maybe if I back up. Okay, that's better. That's better. If I'm right at the back of the blind, try this. If I'm really at the back of the blind, and even then, you pretty much have to be, so at the very back of the blind, I'm looking out the far window, and it does not look as detailed as that. Sorry. Yeah, it is not nearly as detailed. And I know I have one bad eye, but I got my contact lens in. See, that's picking up each individual branch, but my eye does not see that through the mesh. I just see mesh. So this is very deceptive. Okay, well here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a bit of a side-by-side comparison. So I'm going to put the window down as much as I can, and I'm going to look at that big, I'll look at the cedar tree and whatever this tree is over on the left. I don't think that's an apple tree. Could be wrong. See how it goes in and out all weird? Like it's focusing. That's what my eye does, but the majority of the time it's on like the non, you know, it looks more like this. That's pretty much what my eye is seeing. See how you see an outline of trees and stuff, but you don't see all the detail? The camera is picking up the detail, but my eye does not do that. I mean, your results may vary, but it is very deceptive. Okay, so I'm gonna move out there, and I'm gonna try getting into the other one. Well, I will get into the other one. It's not like I'm gonna fall and break my neck on the way over there. I'll get into the other one. And then I'll show you the other one. Oh, yeah, I did the looking for the door, and I already zoomed up. I prefer the door actually on the other one. It's more rounded, so it gives you slightly more room. I find that not as abrupt on the other. But yeah, see this one? Okay, I'll go back. I'll close this up. You can see through. So I don't know how. Close that. I'm just getting weird shadows, so it's not like I'm trying to rig this to make it look better. It is better. So yeah, so look at that. Like for the camera to compensate for the mesh, it makes this one look almost crystal clear. Like it's just slightly darker. You pick up almost every single branch, almost everything. Now my eyes do not see that. My eyes, I still pick up, like, you know, the main branches, all this stuff. Pick up that tree, most of the branches of that. I would say, in all honesty, what this picks up, what the other one picked up on the camera is not even as good as what my eye picks up in this one. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but it is far and away, this one is far and away clearer. I mean, you can see the difference between the cameras. This looks like there's almost nothing in the way. That one, it looks fairly detailed, pretty cool. But with just sitting in it with your you know, human eyes, this looks way better, and it's not nearly as frustrating to try to see through. I don't know if sitting in that would give me a headache or what, but it doesn't. It's not nearly as clear. Far and away different. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'll show you, if you remember from the last blind, the makeup of what the mesh looked like. Here's the mesh on this one. Okay, so see that? It's like a bunch of weird, like, almost squares with slashes through them, kind of. Yeah, they're kind of like a square with a slash through each one. It's so much more fine than the other one, the Tidewe. So, I guess, well, that was the biggest part of the review. That was like the most important, because I think, I mean, everyone makes blinds, right? But I think when you're trying to compete with, oh yeah, this door is much nicer. I will definitely give them that. The door is much easier to get into. Yeah. See, and even then it wants to focus on the thing, on the mesh. So again, so here's the mesh. It's just circles, and they're not very close together, so it's just slightly perforated, and that's That's really the difference. So now as far as size goes, I hit my head when I stand up on 5'10", and it definitely hits my head. I'd have to crouch if I wanted to stretch my legs or anything like that. So I reach from here to here. Okay, so that's pretty much one side to the next. So it's my entire wingspan. So that's not bad. That's pretty big. If I didn't bring a blind chair, of course, but 2 people would be kind of tight. It's definitely doable. But if you're sitting in the corner, yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad blind. I am definitely happy with it for the money I paid. Okay, I'll go back into this one and get an idea of the size. Okay, so again, kneeling in the middle, arms straight out that way. I'm not going to try to move. Oh, so I'm off center. The other one I'm pretty much dead center. This one I'm off center to try to touch this, and so I'm thinking for sure I'm not going to touch over there. No, I got about maybe 10 inches. Yeah, something like that, 10 inches difference. So this is definitely bigger. And oh, standing up. I'm not touching. Look at this. Oh, sorry. Okay, here. So again, like, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. How many? I get this. Yeah, slightly more width than my hand. So again, 5/10 was 6 something. Yeah. So again, for the money, I am definitely pleased. It's definitely going to be a nice replacement for my other blind. But yeah, there's not even close. I want to say it's fairly close, but I think the Double the Primos surround is much clearer than the Tidewe. So hopefully that was a comprehensive comparison between the two, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Maybe you know somebody who's shopping for blinds as well this spring and is considering those see-through wall technology type blinds. So hope you guys are all enjoying your time out in the woods, and if you're out turkey hunting, I hope you're successful, and we'll see you soon for another video. Take care, guys.